頼む、受け止めてくれ。
オーケー、安心して落ちてきな。
We've had many videos of characters showing how much they're above the competition, but what about the other side of the equation? What about those poor souls that have had to see that power firsthand? Or, in much more muted scenarios, what about someone who has an astounding lead only to blow it due to shenanigans or simply being outsmarted? That's what we're going through today. Let's go through some of the most embarrassing defeats in anime. Let's start with Reigen vs 7th Division.
くだらない全てを飲み込み消滅させてしまう黒玉。この男、あろうことかすでに。
Entering the 12th episode, suspense is high, with Mob and the group seemingly faced with unsurmountable odds. By the time the first few minutes were done, it was all over. Reigen stands up, and let's just say the 7th Division stood no chance whatsoever. After taking Mob's power temporarily, the battle against Ishiguro was nothing but a cakewalk. Who cares about those black holes when Reigen can easily nullify them? Gravity attacks? What a joke. After some more talking, Reigen ends it by throwing Ishiguro away, unmasking him in the process. And all the time, our mentor here remains completely chill, as if he wasn't even in a fight to the death just seconds ago. Doubles as a mentor flex, being defeated like this with the numbers game on their side, it's gotta hurt.
さっきまで逃げていた男に何が起きた？
For something more modern now, how about Oken vs Boss? Oken seems to be tailor-fit for the big boss role. He's intimidating, he has a penchant for violence, and he's one who relishes in suffering, refusing to put enemies out of their misery. This is it. Truly the ultimate villain for the heroes to face in Ranking of Kings. And he more than proved his worth in his on-screen exploits. Nothing stood in his way, and I personally lost track of the number of characters who'd fallen against Oken. Even Boji and the Big Four weren't able to truly land a decisive blow on him thanks to good old villain regeneration. He seemed unstoppable, and he's enjoying every moment of it. Then Boss comes back and it's all over. All those achievements and feats in combat go down the drain, and Oken was dispatched like some random small fry. While Oken wouldn't be killed, he would be sealed, trapped in a way to prevent regeneration. From demigod to pathetic fodder real quick. Luke Valentine's first defeat against Alucard has to be up there. Luke Valentine sure talks big for a minor villain. Yeah, Luke's not as loud and obnoxious as his brother, but he's a big talker in his own right. Who goes around claiming that he'll single-handedly put down Alucard after all? Come on, man. Apparently, Luke didn't get the memo on Alucard's prowess now, did he? Well, he got his chance to test his powers out in their first encounter. Unfortunately, though, for Luke, he may have bitten way off more than he could chew, and the resulting fight, it's not even close. For all the talk he did, he decisively was no match for Alucard, who turns the tide on his condescending attitude. This time, it's Alucard mocking him for being useless and pathetic before literally feeding him to the dogs. That's not the end of it all either, but let's face it, with the pride that's keeping him afloat gone, Luke's finished. I think a lot of you know it's coming. Frieza versus Trunks. No, it's not the equally embarrassing defeat Frieza had against Goku, the one that sees him sliced by his own attack. In that one, at least he more than justified his status as arch villain. He's a legitimate threat, and he was such a powerful wall for our heroes to cross. This time, it's different. Returning with a newly enhanced body and vowing revenge, Frieza runs into, not Goku, but Trunks. Frieza wanted Goku and no one else, but Trunks proved to be more than a match for him. This time he was defeated with little fanfare. His attacks were thrown back at him, and he was easily eviscerated by this mysterious fighter. I mean, it wasn't even a match, and I think this kind of defeat is way more humiliating than the one he suffered in his own arc. From arc villain to random fodder. Even with a new body and all, Frieza had one big fall from grace. I'm sure we've had these embarrassing defeats ourselves, right? We don't battle like anime characters do. Well, yeah, but we sure lose out on some amazing deals that we could have gotten. That's where today's video sponsor, Slick Deals, comes into play. Slick Deals is the largest and most trusted deal-sharing company out there. Thanks to their service, people have saved thousands of dollars in their hunt for the best deals out there. By installing the Slick Deals browser extension, you can get the best prices and discounts when you shop online. It allows you to compare sites with one another in your hunt to get the perfect deal. Say goodbye to searching for coupons or cashback points too. Slick Deals has that part down too, and the extension openly applies the latest coupon codes. Now, using it, I was able to get some deals on accessories like this awesome gaming headset that I got for half the price. The best part about Slick Deals is that it also features an always active, ever-growing community. With over 12 million users sharing their information, you can easily get the best deals available in real time. If you're ready to experience online shopping like never before, then be sure to try out Slick Deals. Get the best prices for your gaming accessories, appliances and such at your fingertips by downloading the extension through this link in the description. Luffy versus Bellamy is quite comedic, honestly. Why did I find this funny? Because Bellamy spent more time talking and bouncing around than hitting Luffy. It's something if this were a more contested and intense battle, but Luffy and Bellamy is practically a joke of a fight. Yeah, I mean it is a joke despite what Bellamy would suggest otherwise. Bellamy does a great job putting his techniques out there. He does a great job creating a ruckus. He talks big, he talks loud, and gets quite obnoxious at some points. One thing he doesn't do a great job at, as you know, is defeating Luffy. For all the bragging, he gets put down super easy, and I don't think there's anything more damaging to your own pride than going down like that. Having knuckle imprints left on you is the finishing touch to the embarrassment of being one-shotted just like that. However, even more comedic is Saitama versus Sonic. Racing after Hammerhead, our good friend Speeder Sonic encounters none other than Saitama. The stage is set for an epic showdown, one that will crush all of our assumptions, one that will... never mind. Hype up this showdown as much as I want, we all know what's gonna happen, don't we? But the whole point of One Punch Man is never in the pretend suspense in Saitama fights. In fact, this fight turned out to be one of the most entertaining fights in the entire first season. Sonic goes all out from the get-go, only to have his pride hurt by Saitama seeing through those attacks. Feeling more and more agitated, Sonic starts talking himself up on how he'll kill Saitama, only to be met with indifference. While he decides to finish it off with his ultimate technique, such a move will only prove to be his undoing when Saitama responds with his signature punch to the crotch. Now, that's gotta hurt bad. Also doubles as an extremely comedic moment, coming at the expense of Sonic's dignity. We're all so used to villains being humiliated, but what about the protagonists? Come on in, Subaru. Of course, it's Subaru taking the fall here. Then again, he's just suffering incarnate for most parts of ReZero, and an important part of his development involved him getting his ass kicked in public. It wasn't even a match at all, and Julius just spends literal minutes on end beating him down while everyone watches on. Subaru may have kicked ass the previous arc, but it's all back to earth for him in this one, and the bad news just keeps coming for him. It's this beatdown that further drove a wedge between him and Emilia, and the two finally have their decisive conflict right after this event, kick-starting the last arc of the first season. Hey, it's my favourite arc, so I guess there's some good to be had from this humiliating defeat. It's such a pivotal moment that often gets lost in the shuffle because we're all too enthralled with the whale fight, Betelgeuse's entire character, and Rem's confession. Subaru sure had to earn his happy ending for this arc, and it all started with a public humiliation. Naruto versus Giba is another fight that I found amusing.
Ah!
Naruto isn't exactly a match for Giba, if we're only to look at the first half of the fight. His techniques along with Akamaru proved to be too much for our plucky protagonist, and after the first few moments of this Chunin exam match, things look to be over for Naruto, who gets forced to continually dodge. A decisive hit prompted Giba to start trash talking, but as people say, pride comes before the fall. Naruto's strategy, however, allows him to turn the tide. Giba tries to mount a comeback, but he eventually falls to Naruto out shadow cloning him. Giba had so many opportunities to close out the match, but he got cocky. I find it ironic he lost to shadow clones when it was he who opened with this version of that technique. Speaking of losing to your own technique, how about Killua versus Realvelt? Heaven's Arena is memorable for a lot of fights. We have the whole Gon versus Hisoka thing, but often lost in the footnotes is this minor confrontation between Killua and Realvelt. It's not too long of a fight, and it's not much of a fight in the first place, actually. Honestly, it's mostly just Realvelt sizing up Killua and attempting to attack him with the outrageously named Twin Snake Whips. The whole time, Killua remained composed and simply countered his adversary's attacks skillfully. Eventually, Realvelt pulls out all the stops and unveils his secret technique, Thunder Snake. Unfortunately for him though, Killua was unfazed by his electricity, but not him. He gets caught in his own technique, and it was what Killua uses to finish him off. Losing to your own technique never feels good, especially not in front of spectators, right after you so proudly talked it up.
OK 安心して落ちてきな。
Finally, it's Aizen beating everyone. Yes, finishing off with one of my personal memorable moments in Shonen. Aizen versus everyone can mean a lot of things, however. While the whole troll moment in Karakura Town is a contender, you know, after everyone unloaded on Momo of all people, but I think that his defeat of Ichigo and Renji is something else. To be fair, both Ichigo and Renji had just been to hell and back with stopping Rukia's execution. Still, the anime pulled out all the stops to make it seem like they had a chance to win at all. The roughed up Renji still had a bit of fight left in him, and he and Ichigo even cooked up an amazing plan to beat Aizen. Ichigo's theme plays, they go at it, and Aizen stops Ichigo's sword with a finger, then proceeds to one-shot both of them. The music ends and is literally never heard of in the anime again, at least that version of number 1. It's not Ichigo's first defeat against a tough foe, but this was a time when he just received such a big spike in power. Coming off a win against Byakuya, momentum is completely at his side, and boom! That's it for my list. Most embarrassing defeats in anime. For me, these are my favourites. Still, I'm actually interested in your opinion on the worst and most embarrassing defeats, so do make sure you keep those comments coming in on that. And don't forget to check out our sponsor Slick Deal for the best deals and discounts while shopping online. You can download the extension by using the link in the description. I hope you can also come over to ViniTube's other social media channels as well. Discord, Instagram and Patreon are all available in the description box. As usual, like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, and I'd love to see you again for the next video. Thank you, and see you next time.